In this video, we're going to set up the new script so we can create a new Trello board. Let's take a look back at the API docs. When you do a REST call, there's going to be different verbs that you use for different functions. The get would be telling the REST service that you want to get records. You want to pull a record or a group of records. The put is usually for updating, and sometimes they use patch for updates. So you have an existing record. We pull down records and we want to change the name of a board. Instead of using the get when we make a call, we would use the verb put that tells the REST service update this. And if we use the get would tell the service bring this back. We want this. To create a new record, we would use the verb post. Now post tells the REST service that we want to create a new record, and delete for deleting a existing record. So right now we're going to do a post. For boards, we want to create a new board. Let's click on boards, and here's all the fields that we can include, but the only one required is name. So we're going to make this nice and simple, and we're just going to set it up so the user just has to type in a name. Okay, let's go back to our REST model. And right now we have a lot of information right here. We're not going to send all this. We're just going to send the name. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new form for the new board. We don't want to show them all those fields. We just want to show them the name field. So let's name it Trello create board form. And we'll put the caption new board. That way it'll show up there. We don't want it to show up on the menu, so we'll delete that. We want to set the account to a Trello account. We don't need an image since we're not showing it in the navigation. There we go. And we're going to create a property, Trello board name. Now we go back to the docs and we want to copy the way it's written. And we're going to paste it right in there. And it's just going to be a regular text field. And that's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the Trello board form. And we want to tell the software that instead of, when the person clicks a new button, instead of showing this normal Trello board form like you would do when you open a record, we want to open up this form right here, the create board form. We don't want the user to see all these fields when they create one, because we're not going to send all these fields to the REST service. We just want to send the name field. So select Trello board form, click edit, and we're going to set the create form to the Trello create board form. That's going to tell the software to show this form instead of the normal form. And we're going to click save. Now let's run the software. Okay, let's go back to the boards. It's going to retrieve those boards again. And now we want to click the new script. We're going to create a new script here. Let's go to the snippets and let's use the create record. We want the Trello account type. Now, since we're sending a different form, we need to select which form that is that we're going to be able to send. The Trello create board, we're going to select that. And we're going to get back the normal board after we create. Sometimes when you send data to a REST service, you send like the minimum amount of data that is required to create a record, and they'll send back a whole bunch more data. So we're supposed to get back a board, a normal board. And click finished. So now you'll see the first one is the get input value. This is actually when we create a record, we're sending that Trello create board form into this script, and that's what we need to grab in order to send it to the REST service. So that's what we do here. And if we look at our variables, that is a Trello create board form, because we're going to show that form. The person's going to enter in the name and they're going to click save or OK. And that's going to be sent to the script So we're going to grab that input, that Trello board, create board input, so we can send that to the Trello REST service. We're going to get the account from that Trello create board form. Like I said, the user may have 2 or 3 accounts with Trello. So I need to know what account we're going to use in order to create that record. So here we're going to get the account, and this is what we did last time. We have to set the base URL right here. API Trello in quotation marks. And this is the resource we're going to use. Oh, we want post boards. Yep. So this is the resource. We're going to get the REST service. This REST service is what's going to make the call. And we set up our authentication here. It's the same thing we did before. We're going to get the properties of, we're going to get the API key of the Trello account. And we'll create a new variable. And we need to get the token. With the REST account, and we'll create a variable to hold that token. Let's say, okay, for the we got their key value, we got the token value from the property. Now we needed to add that to the REST call, so it's as a query parameter, like we did before. Let's add a couple of query parameters here. This will be for the key. And we're going to select the REST service. We're going to type in key just like it is in the documentation, and we're going to set this to the key variable. We're going to do the same thing with token. Token is how it's spelt, and we're going to set that to the token variable from our record. Now we're doing a do object REST call. Before the get, we're doing a do collection. Because we were getting it back a bunch of records. We're sending minimum information for Trello to create a board, and Trello will return a normal board after we create it with more information. So we're just going to get back one record since we're creating a record, and we're going to use the do object REST call. As you can see, we got our call service, and we're using a post. Here's the different types of verbs I was talking about before. For a new one, absolutely most REST services will use a post. The gets will be getting a record or getting a collection of records. Put and a patch are usually done for updates, and deletes are usually for deletes. We also have our REST account here. That's going to set the object we get back from Trello. We're going to set that REST account so we know later what account that belongs to if we want to update it. And we're sending the output to the result, which will be the Trello board that we created. Let's click save and click close. As you can see, the new button just popped up because we have the new script created. Let's click new. Here's the new board form that we used, and we're going to select the account, and we're going to type in the name. And let's click OK. And there it is. So if we were to refresh, you would see right there. And if we went to Trello, new board from automation. So we created a new board. In the next video, we're going to create a update.